Hello there.
How are you?
Fine.
Exceeded by his infamy.
I looked, evidently threw an unconscious bat on the stage, and he thought it was a rubber bat, whatever, and he picked it up and bit the head off.
Ozzy Osbourne.
I'm just gonna go a lap around the field.
Welcome back to Dirt Obsession, everyone. With winter still upon us and most of the industry news focused on the release of new and overpriced side-by-sides, I found myself searching for video topics to present to you in support of our ongoing effort to keep interest high on the ATV side of the off-road community. Well, the light in the window is a crack in the sky, as they say, and lo and behold we found something interesting that also blends two of my favorite topics, sport quads and heavy music. And since we can't kick the obsession of smut, let's civilize the universe, laugh last, and keep our hand in the bush. In the bush. In the bush. Back in December of 2022, a Yamaha Banshee sold at auction for $12,893 of the almighty dollars. This particular Banshee was bone stock, which is pretty rare and fairly mint save for a pretty gnarly dent in the front bumper. But it wasn't just any Banshee. It didn't belong to an ordinary man. This particular Banshee belonged to the Prince of Darkness himself, Mr. Ozzy Osbourne. And that giant dent in the front bumper was a battle scar of a wreck that nearly served as the final entry in the madman's diary.
It's too cold, man. My fingers are numb. Let's go back.
Ozzy! According to like a crap ton of interweb sources, Ozzy was nearly sent straight to hell in the wreck, cracking a vertebrae, breaking his collarbone, and more than a handful of ribs. According to grunge.com, his daughter Kelly's memoir even says he flatlined a bit before being revived, at which point the Miracle Man's Jekyll didn't hide, as he yelled at the EMS guys not to mess up his tattoos. Although, his word choice and articulation may not have been as verbatim as I've presented to you here.
And I was dressed in one of my wife's green evening dress. She's urinating up the fucking Alamo.
As it turns out, Ozzy's quite the fan of power sports in their purest form, dirt bikes and sport quads, and was often pictured flying high again on a road to nowhere at his estate on his Banshee and his YZ. Helmetless, gearless, fearless, but breaking all the rules for sure, and almost certainly fueled on an unknowable quantity of, performance enhancers that had a tendency to turn him into a bit of a psycho man.
Drugs, we just, we took LSD, we took cocaine, we took vast amounts of marijuana.
Yes, Ozzy demonstrated time after time that the demon alcohol, among other things, had a way of making him party with the animals. But for what it's worth, the only intoxicating substance that contributed to this particular mishap was a concoction of prescription medication that may or may not have contributed to the crash itself. I don't know. But sometimes, you just gotta believe in foolish miracles. Self-destruction may be the toll, but it's not how you play the game, it's if you win or lose. And this time, Ozzy managed to make a full recovery. What we can reasonably assume contributed to the crash was that sick Banshee 2 smoker power band. Killer of giants that made the machine so popular for nearly 20 years production and still a highly sought after quad on the used market that all the young dudes want. You better believe we've had our fair share of good times on a Banshee, complete with a couple of mishaps that make us a little more understanding of why the Ozman's cometh met with such negative results. But shed no more tears for the Ozman, although he did commit the ultimate sin by wrecking a perfectly good Banshee. You can't kill rock and roll, and you can't kill the spirit of a Banshee.